Washington and your Southern Virginia University Knights. President Wilcox and the Southern Virginia staff, thank you for your support of the student athletes and coaches participating in today's contest. In the spirit of good sportsmanship, they ask you to respect the following SVU athletic rules. Cheer loudly and proudly for your team, not against the visitors. No profanity, vulgarity, racist or sexist remarks. No personal remarks towards players, coaches, or officials. Show that you know the game. Stay away from the playing area and team bench areas. Zero tolerance for alcohol and tobacco use at all contests. Thank you for your cooperation, and go Knights! In accordance with tradition at Southern Virginia University, we will begin with a word of prayer, which will be offered by Mark Stapley.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we're thankful that we could gather together as a school and play this wonderful sport of basketball. Please bless the players that they can play with all their heart and that they can stay safe. We love thee and say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now, if you will all please rise and face the flag for our national anthem.
It's game time, folks, and welcome to Knights Sports Arena. I'm Dawson Weidrich along with Chris Fry and the Knights Sports Network, here for your starting five between the Knights of your Southern Virginia University and the Eagles of the University of Mary Washington.
And Dawson, starting up for the Eagles of the University of Mary Washington, number 1, Deshaun Cook. Joining him in the backcourt, number 5, Mark Madison. And starting off the front court, number 10, Jacob Williams. Joining him, number 15, Greg Rosen, leading scorer for this Eagles team, averages right around 16.1 points per game. And rounding out the front court, number 33, Johnny Cronin. And now for the starting five of your Southern Virginia Knights. Starting first, number 20, Austin Wood. Austin Wood, first-year player here from Southern Virginia, done a great job there, taking over the point guard duties. Also joining him, number 23, Jameer Cross. Jameer Cross, leading scorer on this Knights team, averaging right around 14.4 per game on the season. Interesting what he does in this game. And also joining him, number 24, Trey Dill. Trey Dill, the second leading scorer on this Knights team, averaging right around 10. Also averages 8 rebounds a game. And the person that usually handles the ball when Austin Wood isn't in, number 32, Alec Johnson, brings a great size, more of a point forward than anything else. And of course, rounding it out down in the middle, standing all of 6'10", Tyler McCready down there in the low blocks.
Should be a very fun match with the Knights coming off a very close loss to Christopher Newport, the top team in the conference. And the Knights have a fire in their belly. We talked to Coach Winslow before the game about they feel like the past few games they really should have won those games. So they feel like they have something to prove today. They have a fire underneath their belly, and they're ready to prove something to the fans here tonight as well as the CAC.
And they have the perfect setting to do so. They're in Knight Arena in front of their home fan. It's been a while since we've seen the Knights here at home. And they're, like you said, Dawson, looking to come up with a full head of steam against this Mary Washington team, who is no laughing matter. They're a formidable opponent. One of the top teams in the CAC. The Knights would be looking to come in here and upset them. They've been so close in many other games. They only lost to CNU by 3. CNU is top of the CAC. Knights team has the talent to do so. They felt like they've been robbed, like you said, in the past couple of games. They're going to come out full head of steam, guns blazing, and really try to punch Mary Washington in the mouth.
And Mary Washington coming off victory against Penn State Harrisburg, where they won 68-62. And the Knights win the tip-off to get this game started. Jameer Cross with it. Hands off to Trey Dill. Hands up with Alec Johnson. There'll be a foul called on number 1. That is Deshaun Cook, the freshman from Williamsburg, Virginia, for the University of Mary Washington. So Alec Johnson will inbound it for the Knights.
Dawson, I really want to see the impact that Alec Johnson has on this game. Like we said, he plays that point forward position. When Austin Wood and then Jameer Cross doesn't take the ball handling duties, Alec Johnson is the one that takes those duties. I want to see what he can do as a bigger. He's really a bigger guard. He plays the forward position, but he's more of a point forward, like I mentioned before. What he does in this game, the way he can distribute and get to his guys, especially Tyler McCready, be interesting to know what he does today.
And so the first shot attempt for the Knights tonight was a three-pointer, and the same thing goes for Mary Washington as Greg Rosen, the leading scorer for the Eagles team, gets the 3 to fall. Tyler McCready in the paint is stripped clean by Rosen. Now the Eagles will have it back. Deshaun Cook with it. The 3 ball, no good. Rebound by Tyler McCready. That 3 was attempted by number 5, Mark Madison. Jameer Cross to the baseline. Nice left-handed scoop for the first points of the night for the Knights.
Jameer Cross doing what Jameer Cross does, taking his guy one-on-one, an isolation, really an isolation specialist. That's what he thrives to do. He loves to get in that one-on-one opportunity and have a chance at the cup.
The three-point attempt, no good. Rebounded by Tyler McCready. That was the missed three-pointer by Mark Madison. Alec Johnson with it now. Lane opens in front of him. He goes with the left hand and tapped in by Tyler McCready.
Well, Dawson, Knights have the height advantage with Tyler McCready down there on the low blocks. I want to see him do that for the rest of the game. Have that energy to go up there and put it in off the missed shot.
Open three-pointer for Ralston. Will not fall. Rebounded by Tyler McCready yet again. McCready so far dominating the boards. Jameer Cross for three. Hits the back of the iron. Rebounded by the Eagles. Stolen by Jameer Cross. He's a fast break opportunity. And just decides to go up with the left hand. No good. Layup missed by Jameer Cross.
I think Jameer Cross was surprised at how open he was. We've seen him in games past. He has those opportunities. He goes up with all he has and slams it home. Don't know exactly what was going through his head. Maybe just thought he was less open than he actually was.
Open two-footer, no good. Rebounded by Trey Dill. That was attempted by Mark Madison. Creed to the corner for Austin Wood. The three will fall. Make it 7-3 in favor of the Knights. Like we said, the Knights coming out with a fire in their belly.
And Dawson, that's due to the fact that in the big games that they've had, they've fallen just short. This team so far throughout the season hasn't done maybe what they've wanted to at the beginning, but they've been close in a number of games. Like we said, they only lost by 3 points against CNU, who's nationally ranked. A national ranked opponent top in the CAC, and to only lose by 3 and to be so close throughout that game, you're going to feel robbed at the end of it. And like you said, they need to come out in these next couple of games they have in the season with that fire under their belly and a full head of steam.
And missed three by Austin Wood. Austin Wood was feeling it after that three-pointer just made moments ago. The three-pointer no good by Deshaun Cook, rebounded by Alec Johnson.
And Dawson, that's really what the Eagles' main staple is on the offensive side. They really don't have a plethora of size. Tallest guy on the roster clocking in right around 6'6". They have 2 of those, one of them being Greg Rosen. And if you look at Greg Rosen, number 15 on your screen, yes, he's tall. He's 6'6". He's not very big. He doesn't have that weight on him that you need to compete with the Tyler McCready down there in low blocks. Eagles love to shoot the three.
And speaking of size, we're having an exchange of size here for the Knights. Michael Newfield coming in for Tyler McCready. So Alec Johnson will be inbounding it. The Knights up by 4.
Dawson, I love the impact that Michael Newfield brings to this Knights team. You don't lose much on the defensive side because he has that shot blocking ability, but you gain a great perimeter shot when Michael Newfield's on the floor.
Missed three by Jameer Cross. Now it'll end up back with Mary Washington. Rosen to Welch. Now to Drew Johnson, back to Grossen. Open corner three for the Eagles. That'll fall short, rebounded by Trey Dill. That three was attempted by number 11, Drew Johnson. Trey Dill for the open two, and he'll nail it. Give the Knights a 6-point lead. And fans will notice defensively that the Knights are without Kellen Winslow today. Yesterday injured his ankle in practice, so the Knights will be without him tonight.
Really a shame for Kellen Winslow. Again, his senior season as a Knight, and it's been plagued with injuries so far. Start of the season, had that ankle injury. It appears to be bugging him a little bit now again towards the end of the season. Heartbreaking stuff, but if your other Knights on this team, the underclassmen like Trey Dill, like Austin Wood, and all these other guys, you see that and you want to lift Kellen to a spot that he'd want to be as a senior here at this Knights basketball team, to play the best of your ability, not only for yourself, for your teammates, and for your seniors.
And speaking of the Knights, they're just having such a great start right now, some great shooting. We have some scoring from Austin Wood, who made that three-pointer a little bit ago. Jameer Cross had that baseline layup. Trey Dill with open jumper. Tyler McCready had the tip-in basket. And the Knights is shooting decently well right now. They're 4 of 10, 40% for the field, but it feels like they're shooting much better than that.
And Dawson, what they've done so far to pull ahead in this game the way they have, it's only the opening couple of minutes, but they've found the good shots. Like you said, they're 4 of 10, 40%, not exactly where you want to be, but a good start. You've limited the Eagles in Mary Washington. Your defense has been so stout. When you have Tyler McCready down there, they're not able to feed it down low blocks, and when they have, there's just too much defense. And when you guard the perimeter as well, the Knights have so far, again, Eagles only 1 of 6 from the three-point line, 16.7%. Nowhere near their season averages. Most of their guys average their points from beyond the arc. So when you cut that away, the way Coach Greg Winslow has with his Knights, you limit what the Eagles can do, and they've done that extremely well. So it's not only the great offense that we've seen so far that can get better and will get better if it keeps on the track that it has been, but it's the stellar defense that's carried the Knights so far in this game.
Absolutely. One thing to look out for with the Knights is the fact that there's been several open three-point attempts by the Eagles so far. If they want to make sure that doesn't take off for them, they really need to cover that exterior much better. Roaston with it. Now to Alec Johnson defending. 11 seconds of the shot clock. The skip pass. And that will be rebounded by Michael Neufeld. Some great defense from the Knights. That was attempted by number 33, Johnny Cronin, who leads the team in rebounds with 9.9. Alec Johnson with it. Jameer Cross in the corner. A good screen from Neufeld. The floater by Austin Wood, but it'll be called a charge on Austin Wood. As number 33, Johnny Cronin will take it.
Dawson, that's really a great job by Johnny Cronin of the Eagles. You saw in Austin Wood's eyes, as soon as he turned that corner, he was going to the paint every single time. You don't want to force that shot. You see 3 Eagles in the paint, probably not the wisest idea to drive in if you're going up to the basket. If you're going to drive in with 3 guys there, you need to dish it out, because if there's 3 in the paint and your guys are lining the three-point line, someone's bound to be open.
Absolutely very true, or at least stop and jump upwards on the shot rather than forwards like Austin Wood did. 3-point attempt is good. That'll be number 13, Riley Welch. There's a stat for you. Riley Welch averages 50% from the three-point line this season. Doesn't shoot it a ton, but he's very reliable. Scores about 4 points a game.
Dawson averages 50% from the three-point line at 4.4 points a game. You know where all his points are coming from. He's strictly in there as a three-point shooter. He's not going to drive it in there. He might facilitate a little bit on the offensive side, but you need to guard him when he's on the arc because he is lethal from that range.
Speaking of lethal from outside, Jaron Anderson's in for the Knights. The three-point attempt from Jameer Cross, no good, but Jaron Anderson, one of those players that can really take off from the three-point line for the Knights. A three-point attempt for the Eagles, and that'll fall. That's number 13, Riley Welch again.
Well, Dawson, you get caught in transition. You got a wide-open shooter in Welch. Again, 50% of the time, it's going to go in for Welch.
Jameer Cross at the top of the key. Wood in the corner. Anderson at the post. And he gets trapped on the baseline. He'll be out of bounds. And he had 2 defenders on him, which made it very difficult for him to move around.
2 defenders, but you have to know, it's just simple math. 10 players on the court, 5 aside. If there's 2 on you, one of your teammates has to be open. Your teammates in the situation, they need to move in a way where you can see them. Knights just standing stagnant there, not giving Anderson anything to do with that ball.
So tie game here, 9-9. A couple of quick threes from Riley Welch have really helped the Eagles so far. See Alec Johnson covering Welch on the outside.
But Dawson, all of the Eagles' points so far come from the three-point line.
And that 3 is good from number 3, Mike Janowski. There's also Neil Davis checking in. He's the defensive specialist for this Knights team.
And Dawson, more than that, Neil Davis adds really an unorthodox offensive style. Again, he's a football player by heart, and that's what he does. But translate on the basketball court, he takes risks that most basketball players would not. Just has no regard for human life nor his own, and will just charge in on anybody.
Absolutely plays free safety on the SVU's football team. And that three-pointer a few moments ago, very off from Jaron Anderson. Now the Eagles have it. Janowski being defended by Neil Davis. Janowski for 3. No good. Rebounded by Michael Neufeld. Gets it out to Alec Johnson.
And Dawson, you know so far, it's only been a couple of minutes into this first half, but every single one of the Eagles' points has come from beyond the arc. They've shot 10 threes. They made 4 of them, so all 12 of their points have come from three-pointers.
Anderson in the corner. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Gets it in the paint to Michael Neufeld. Goes up with it. No good. Rebounded by Neil Davis. who goes up and gets fouled. So the offensive rebound leads to possible points for Neil Davis.
Great work by Neil Davis, and already Knights out rebounding the Eagles 11-7. 2 of those rebounds being offensive rebounds for the Knights, including that one we just saw from Neil Davis.
As we have a quick timeout here, the Knights find themselves down by 3. They came out with a quick lead, 9-3, and since then have had a little bit of struggles of getting points on the board. Neil Davis has an opportunity with these 2 free throws. But again, when we talk about three-point shooting from this Eagles team, it's been phenomenal. I mean, they've shot 4 of 10. Like you mentioned, all their points come from three-point land. And so what can Coach Winslow and this Knights team do to limit that?
Well, Dawson, you have the players in. You have Neil Davis in. Right now, you're really missing the work of Kellen Winslow. He can help you so much of defending the perimeter. You've limited the Eagles. Again, they shot 4 of 10. Really good percentage at 40. But you need your quickest lineup in. You have Neil Davis in. You have Jameer Cross in. All of these guys can guard the perimeter. Keep doing what you're doing. You have Neil Davis probably boxing one him with the best three-point shooter team, which right now is Welch. You just need to accept the fact the Eagles are not going in the paint. And if they do, any one of your players one-on-one with them can take them every single time. Need to have a higher focus on the perimeter, and then I think it'll be all right.
Absolutely, as the Knights break their timeout huddle here. Again, the Knights find themselves down by 3. As in the second half of this basketball doubleheader here, the women's Knights team played a little bit earlier today against Mary Washington. They fell in that game by 12 points. The Knights looking to take the second half of it as Neil Davis is at the free throw line. And that'll fall. Bring the deficit within 2. Second free throw on the way, and that'll fall. That was the first 2 points since the Knights had a 9-3 lead. For the Knights anyway. The Knights leaving the high post wide open. So it'll be Knights basketball. We have a timeout on the floor. And that's an Eagle on the floor being number 10, Jacob Williams.
Jacob Williams on that play goes up to try to get the 2 points, met by Jaron Anderson and the other Knights, and just came down extremely hard. When Jaron Anderson brought down that rebound, you saw Williams already on the floor. So referee's taking a much-needed timeout to see if Williams is okay. Just really hope he's okay, especially so early in this game. You hate to see anyone go down and have to leave for the night.
Absolutely, and so again, the Knights will have possession once this timeout is over. But Coach Winslow will have a chance to talk to his players here for a few moments to kind of discuss things further that they didn't get to discuss in their timeout with the limited time they had.
And Dawson, just take a little bit of time with this timeout. If you're Coach Winslow, on the offensive side, your guys lately have been getting done. Neil Davis able to drive in. Obviously, he got that rebound, sent him to the line. You're finding success in the post. Just keep feeding that. Threes will come. Right now, if you're the Knights, you're 1 of 7 from the three-point line, 14.3%. The same percentage as the Eagles were just a couple of shots ago, and then they hit 3 in a row to bring them within 40. So if you're the Knights, keep feeding the post. And then when it stops, the three-pointer will be open because they'll be expecting you to drive the lane every single time.
Absolutely. With this injury, we'll be taking a quick little break here on the Knights Sports Network. We'll be right back with you as soon as number 10, Jacob Williams, is on his feet. And we see number 10, Jacob Williams, being escorted off the court by the medical staff here at SVU, here at the athletic events. They do such a great job for him, making sure they're always prepared for the worst of situations. As again, these players put their bodies on the line every single day to play the sports they love here in the Division III level. And now play can resume.
Well, Dawson, when you saw number 10, Jacob Williams, get up, he was walking really gingerly off the court, not favoring that right ankle. Hope he's okay. He'll be checked out by, like you said, the medical staff here at Southern Virginia University. They do a great job.
And again, play will resume as Alec Johnson has at the top of the key. You have to be careful here after that long of a break, and it changed the dynamic a little bit, so momentum can go either way for either team.
You do see Tyler McCready.
Ball, the Knights take the lead.
Had the ball, saw it right in front of him, had shot by Anderson.
The three-point attempt will be good by number 13, Riley Welch.
Riley Welch now is 3 of 3 from the three-point line. Leading scorer has 9 points.
Can't get much better than 100% now as the Knights find themselves with a 2-point deficit. Shamir Cross gets to the corner. Jaron Anderson back to Cross. Back to Johnson. Inside to Trey Dill out and taken away. Looks like that was number 11, Drew Johnson, who got that steal.
And if you're Trey Dillon there, you need to fake that pass and then make it. You faked it up, and then you just kept going with it. It was just wide up. You telegraphed where you're going to go with it. Fake a pass, make a pass.
That was number 11, Drew Johnson, who cut to the high post and took the jumper. They realized that the Knights weren't really covering the high post due to the fact that number 33, Johnny Cronin, was in there before and wasn't attempting any outside shots of any kind. And so now we'll see number 4, Sam Armstrong, checking in for Jaron Anderson.
And Dawson, you just mentioned number 33 at the Eagles, Johnny Cronin. As soon as you said that, he made his way onto the court. I think head coach Marcus Kahn saw that high post is open. He's going to put in his best shooter from that range, which is Cronin.
Shamir across the corner, Sam Armstrong, back to Cross. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. A deep 2 for Armstrong, no good. Rebounded by Cronin. Janowski taking up the floor for the Eagles. The Eagles with a 4-point lead. And a 2-pointer, no good. Rebounded by Trey Dill. Nice pass on the inside of Tyler McCready, no good. Gets his own rebound and puts it up and in. It'll be 17-15 for the Eagles.
Dawson, if you're the Knights, why not just do that every single time? He has such the height advantage, and when you have someone like Rosen on him, he doesn't want any part of that. You don't want any part of Tyler McCready when he's down on the post.
The three-pointer, no good by Drew Johnson, rebounded by Trey Dill. Jameer Cross taking across the court. Sam Armstrong in the corner for 3, and that's good. And they take the lead 18-17, showing that three-point strength of their own.
Showing that three-point strength, Sam Armstrong, no slouch from beyond the arc. Leader in three-point percentage on this Knights team, shoots right around 40%.
Open baseline jumper for Drew Johnson, that's good. And last year I played at open gyms with Sam Armstrong. There's some days where he just doesn't miss from three-point range. Like, no matter how much in his face you get, he just keeps on draining them over and over and over again.
And Dawson, how frustrating is it for the opposition when you have players like Sam Armstrong and, to their own respect, Welch of the Eagles, that you know what they do. They facilitate and they shoot three-point shots. You know what they're doing, and you still can't stop them.
Absolutely, and so we have another media timeout here. On your screen, you see the cheer squad for Southern Virginia University. A couple weeks ago, they participated in the CCA in New Bern, North Carolina, and they qualified to go further in that competition. So congratulations to them and to all those participating and to their parents as well. Parents of these proud Spirit Squad members.
Dawson, they really do a great job. Just to talk about the Spirit Squad just for a little bit, the stunt team and the dance team that we saw earlier in the women's game, they're so much a part of the culture here at Southern Virginia University. And to their own right, such athletes do a great job every single time they're on the court. There's just such a pleasure to have them here at Southern Virginia and to create the atmosphere that they do here in the barn.
Absolutely, and with 8 minutes left in this first half, the Knights find themselves down by 1. The Knights and Eagles exchanging some great shooting displayed here. We see some great three-point shooting, especially from the Eagles, who are shooting 41.7%. The Knights aren't too far behind, 25%, starting to pick up a little bit of heat there with that three-pointer from Sam Armstrong. But again, so far, looks like it could be a barn burner as the shooting just keeps on building and building and building.
Keeps building, and for the Eagles, there's no new suspects. It's been Welch the entire time. He's still in the game. When he gets the ball, he's either dishing it down low, he's dishing it to a teammate, or he's pulling the three. That's all he's going to do. It's been effective so far. Welch right now, again, still 3 for 3.
Out to Alec Johnson. Corner, Sam Armstrong wanted the three, but decided not to take it. Cross for three. No good. Rebounded by Johnny Cronin. Now Mark Madison brings up the court. Welch on the far side. Corner three for Rowan. No good. Airballed. Rebounded by Alec Johnson. Or Rawson, excuse me. Armstrong for three. No good. And that's rebounded by Welch.
Dawson, I think the biggest mistake that the Knights can make in this game is trying to get into a three-point battle with the Eagles. Yes, it's good to flex your muscle from beyond the arc and show that, yes, you can do it. You're not a one-dimensional team, but you're not going to win a three-point shootout with the Eagles. So many great shooters on this University of Mary Washington team. You just can't do that.
Now taken away by Trey Dill. Now the Knights have it. Trey Dill bringing it inside. He was trying to pass across court to an open Sam Armstrong, but it got tipped out of bounds by the Eagles, and it'll stay with the Knights. Also, number 1, Deshaun Cook checking in for the Eagles, as well as number 21, Jaron Anderson checking in for Tyler McCready.
Knights are trying to add a little bit more speed. Saw there on the defensive side. Look, the Eagles of Mary Washington have changed the formation yet again. They were running more of a diamond right around the paint area. They've switched to a 2-3. They're trying to guard those wings a little bit more now.
Trade on the inside. Fadeaway jumper will fall. Make it 20-19. Deshaun Cook bringing up the court. Sam Armstrong defending. And that'll go between the legs of number 1, Deshaun Cook. Turnover, and it'll go back to the Knights. Alec Johnson with it. Him and Sam Armstrong will be working against the full court press. And they'll break it and set up their half-court offense. Not seeing a whole lot of movement from this Knights offense as there's a turnover. And they'll go back to the Eagles. Corner three will be no good. But rebounded again by Deshaun Cook. Ralston to Cronin. Ralston drives in, the dribble shoot, and that'll fall for 2.
Jaron Anderson on that last offensive or defensive possession for the Knights couldn't keep up with Rosen. Some great pass and pop play by the Eagles.
Nearly taken away, but recovered by Sam Armstrong. Jaron Anderson to the baseline, tries to dribble it in. That'll be no good. They'll call foul on the Knights. Be against number 21, Jaron Anderson.
They're just calling the elbow on Anderson there. You saw he was double teamed down on the baseline, put that elbow into one of the Eagles, and then put the ball up. Foul wasn't called on that, though, is when he tried to go up for the rebound. Again, flaring those chicken wing elbows just a little bit too far out.
Ralston on the far side. Into Cook. Cook to Ralston. Ralston the dribble drive. And he'll get the slam dunk. Make it 23-20.
Rosen just had the open lane. No one came to contest, so if you have the ability to do so, why not do it?
Sam Armstrong with it. The Knights find themselves down by 3. Seven seconds left on the shot clock. Looks like it'll be a defensive foul on the Eagles. Looks like it'll be on number 0, Kiori Stewart. So the ball will stay with the Knights.
That's Kiori Stewart's first foul of the night. The Knights only down by 3 so far in this game. Need to contest better from the 3. Right now the Eagles are shooting 5-14, 35.7%. The Knights have shot too many threes in this game. They shot 10. They've only made 2.
Sam Armstrong wanting the deep three. Jameer Cross shoots the corner three. Way too far. Rebounded by the Eagles. Welch in the corner three. And that'll fall for him as Jameer Cross is defending.
It's probably the strangest looking shot I've ever seen. Rosen shot, it looked like it hit the side of the backboard, but somehow found its way in. Again, good for 3. That moves their percentage right now to 6 of 15, 40% from beyond the arc.
And Greg Relson now has 10 points on the night, followed by Riley Welch. Armstrong for 3, and that'll fall. That's Armstrong's second three-pointer of the night.
And Dawson, that's a great play by the Knights. Nothing forced. Trey Dill saw that as soon as he headed down the low blocks, he was double-teamed. Pop it back out to Armstrong and get the open 3. Don't force anything. This is what they've been doing the last couple offensive possessions. Can't force it against this team.
The great cut and reverse layup by Kiori Stewart. The ball barely even grazed over the top of the rim as it went off the backboard. Alec Johnson at the top. Corner 3 for Sam Armstrong, no good. Rebounded by Alec Johnson. Armstrong for 3, no good. Rebounded by number 5, Mark Madison. The corner 3, off the side of the backboard. That was number 1, Deshaun Cook, who missed that one. Alec Johnson thought Trey Dill was gonna cut to the basket. And now there's a conversation being had as to whether or not it was tipped out of bounds by the Eagles.
Media timeout.
But it looks like they're going to say it was tipped off the Knights, and we'll have a media timeout after that.
Dawson, referees have a little bit of time to deliberate about that call, and the referees for tonight are Haywood Bostic, Charles Trent, and DeWood Mills.
Yeah, doing a good job so far tonight. They've done a great job facilitating, letting the players play a little bit, but not letting too much nonsense get taken advantage of. And that possession, that we saw 2 straight three-point attempts. Well, before the last ones, Sam Armstrong take 2 straight three-point attempts. He's made a couple. So in a game where three-pointers are basically a dime a dozen for the Eagles, I mean, why not? Your best three-point shooter is left open. Let him shoot.
Well, Sam Armstrong has attempted 5 three-pointers on the night. He's made 2 of those attempts. Jameer Cross attempted 5 as well. He hasn't made one yet. Jaron Anderson 1. Austin Wood has attempted 2 and made 1, so he's 50%. The three-point numbers aren't falling for the night. This has created some great Eagles numbers where Greg Roshan shot 4, made 2. Riley Welch has shot 3 and made all 3 of his attempts. So while the Eagles have shot 16 three-pointers on this game compared to the Knights' 14, it's just the Eagles have found their rhythm, and that's their main game. We see this throughout the season. That's not the Knights' game. You need to move away from trying to do that, trying to show up the Eagles, and instead play your style of basketball. Make the Eagles conform to you. Don't conform to them.
As now the Eagles have the ball inbounded to number 5, Mark Madison. Guarded by Sam Armstrong. Corner 3 attempt almost by Welch. And that'll be off of Riley Welch, and he can't believe it. He was trying to cut the baseline, but he had Jameer Cross and Jaron Anderson all over him, and it hit off of them onto Riley Welch, then out of bounds.
You saw the face of Welch after that call. Someone had to pick his jaw off the floor off that one. He was just met by 2 great Knights spinners. I believe it was Neil Davis and Jaron Anderson, and just hit him off the shoulder, and he was standing out of bounds. Nothing wrong with that call whatsoever. Pick your jaw off the floor, young man.
Neil Davis to Jameer Cross. Inside of Trey Dill, the jumper will be no good. Rebounded by the Eagles. That's number 13, Riley Welch. Corner 3, no good. Rebounded by Jaron Anderson. That was attempted by number 5, Mark Madison. Jameer Cross gets the outside. Anderson dribbles in and somehow gets it to fall with the contact.
Had the shooter drawn the last shot. Don't like the look for Anderson, but if it goes in, why not?
Drew Johnson to Welch. And to Stewart. Rowson gets that one to fall. Make it 30-25. Armstrong cross working against the full court press. And that'll set up half court offense. Inside to Neil Davis, gets it inside to Trey Dill, who goes up, and it rolls in. Make it 30-27.
So unselfish by Neil Davis. Had the one-on opportunity, has the ability to do that, to take that on and probably score from it. Elects to pass to Trey Dill. Trey Dill was open, able to convert. I like that unselfish play. More nice thing to learn from Neil Davis in that aspect and pass the ball around. Find your open shots. Don't force them.
Absolutely very true. And now under a minute to play, number 5, Mark Madison, as he's making his way down the court, decided to call a timeout for the Eagles. And so they'll be able to talk over a last-minute strategy. They'll have 26 seconds on the shot clock. And so more than likely, the Knights will be able to have a possession as well. And so if you're the Knights, you're down by 3. The Eagles have the ball. Odds are they're probably going to shoot a 3. I mean, they've been shooting threes all night. They need to get in the face. They need to get some good exterior defense. Let that not go in. And then the Knights need to have a great offensive possession on the other side. They don't necessarily need a 3, though.
Absolutely don't need 3. Again, it's only the first half. You want to go into the second half. Obviously, you want the lead. You want that mental edge going into halftime. But the Eagles have already shot 17 threes on tonight. They're probably looking for that. And it's probably be a quick one. Probably won't take as much time on the shot clock as maybe they won't take the full 30 seconds. Look for a 2-for-1. Be able to take a shot, let the Knights come down the floor. You've stopped them the last couple of drives, and they get another opportunity on the basket, probably another 3-point shot.
Riley Welch inbounding, gets the handoff, dribble drive. Now Drew Johnson dribble drive out to Rosen. Guarded by Jaron Anderson. Tipped out of bounds by Jameer Cross. The good hands on defense.
That's great work by the Knights there. We saw a number of open shots that the Eagles could have taken. Probably wasn't in the hands of the person they wanted it to be in. But the Knights doing a great job there, keeping their body on their man and not allowing any open space.
Now Greg Rosen inbounding it for the Eagles. Inbounded to Johnny Cronin. Trey Dill defending. Cronin's going to tip it up. A rebound by Jaron Anderson. 35 seconds left in the first half. Knights down by 3. It's about 7 seconds between shot and game clock. Anderson on the outside. The 3 attempt. No good off the back iron. Rebounded by Riley Welch.
I don't know if you're the Knights and Jaron Anderson, you're giving the Eagles the last shot of the first half.
So Riley Welch with it. 7 seconds left in the first half. The high arching shot will go in for number 0, Corey Stewart. And so with that, the Knights will have a 5-point deficit going into halftime. Again, the Knights doing a very good job playing the game for the most part. They've had a few times they've gone a little 3-point shot crazy. But again, when you're facing them against Mary Washington, who's shooting tremendously from the 3-point line, they're shooting 35.3%, 6 of 17. Most of that coming from Riley Welch. Riley Welch so far having himself a night, being 3 of 3 from the 3-point line with 9 points. Then Greg Rosen also with 12 points. And so definitely an interesting thing will be coming in the second half. And Chris has Coach Winslow. What do you got for us, Chris?
Coach, the Eagles have already shot 17 3-pointers in that first half alone. What can we do to limit the 3-point opportunities for Mary Washington?
Actually, we're not trying to limit it. We just want to get a hand on a shot. You know, we've only given up 32. So, you know, defense isn't our problem. We're not making shots. I mean, we're getting really good looks, and we're missing them. So, you know, I'm happy with the defense. You know, when you're playing a zone, you know you're going to give up some 3-pointers. We've given up some, but they've shot a lot. We've done a really nice job of limiting them to one shot. The last time we played them, they had 24 offensive rebounds. So we've done a nice job with that. We just got to make some buckets.
And Coach, you mentioned defense. Your team has done a great job of limiting shots in the paint. Was that something you guys worked on in practice coming into this game?
A little bit, but Mary Wash shoots the 3. They half their shots are 3-pointers. So we know they're going to shoot a lot of 3s. Cronin's a great rebounder, but he's not much of an offensive threat as far as posting up, but he's great on the glass and putting it back in. So we've really just tried to limit their offensive rebounds, and again, I don't mean to repeat myself, we got to make some buckets.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. I'll let you join your guys. And Dawson, back to you.
And with that, we'll go into halftime with the Knights being down by 5, 32-27, a tight one here at Knights Sports Arena. We'll be right back with you for some halftime updates and the second half.
I'm Sophia Wright. I'm a sophomore here at Southern Virginia University. I'm from Logan, Utah.
My name is Blake Wright. I'm Sophie Wright's dad. Really happy to have her here at Southern Virginia University. This seems like to be a really good fit for her.
So I decided to transfer to Southern Virginia University because I've had the dream of playing college basketball since I was like 5 or 6 years old, and SVU is what gave me the opportunity to be able to live my dream. Besides basketball, I was also given the opportunity to do a social media marketing internship, and that has helped me grow in several different areas I didn't even know I could grow in, which I know sounds kind of odd, but I've just learned a lot of different life lessons from the internship and just been able to explore different options career-wise and just in general.
She knew she was supposed to be here and she fit in, she felt comfortable. She said she wasn't homesick. I assume that's true. And it's just been nothing but positive ever since we dropped her off in August. So
it's just been really easy to learn here and to feel like I'm improving and growing. Coming to Southern Virginia University, it just feels like coming home.
a little over a year ago, I had some pain in my right shoulder. It kind of bothered me. I figured it was just bruised bones or inflammation or something. We treated, doctors treated for that, but it didn't really go away. And after a couple of months, it had spread. They determined I have multiple myeloma, which is cancer in your plasma in your bone marrow. That was the diagnosis. I've been in treatments for almost a year, and we're working towards getting the cancer in my plasma cleaned up enough that I can do a bone marrow transplant.
We all kind of came really close together when he first got diagnosed, and we're really tight-knit, and then the opportunity to come to Southern Virginia University came along, and I was hesitant to bring it up because I didn't know, what it would entail, but ever since I brought it up, he really encouraged me to come, and he really pushed me to live my dream, even though he was going through something so hard. So I think it was cool that he really, he never forgot about the dream I had, and he really wanted me to pursue it, and I think that that's a really cool thing.
Last Saturday when we played, it just sort of hit me. Here we are, Sophie's living her dream at SVU. I'm so proud of her. And I'm glad she could live her dream even though we've got difficult things going on in our family, and it'd be nice for us all to be close. She's where she needs to be and we're where we need to be. And it all works out. Just have a little trust, it'll work out, so. Yeah, I have one last thing. Go Knights.
Trey Dill. The Knights found success there in the paint as far as those post plays are concerned. Now, I think keep in mind, some of these players are struggling with a little bit of illness right now. Nothing too severe, thank goodness, but also it's coming to an effect a little bit. So it comes to effect with playing time as far as ability to go 100%, but so far the Knights showing that they can go that and more.
They definitely can, especially a little bit more. They haven't shown exactly what they'd like to on the offensive side. They're forcing shots. We mentioned this a lot of times throughout the first half. They're forcing shots that they don't need to take. There's open guys on the floor, space the floor and find it. We saw a number of threes by Sam Armstrong. He attempted a lot. Those shots will eventually fall. One of the best three-point shooters in the CAC in Armstrong. Keep giving those open shots. He'll make you pay.
Yeah, absolutely he will. And also other players like Jaron Anderson. And look for Alec Johnson. I forgot his name. Alec Johnson. Look for Alec Johnson involved in three-point shooting as well, along with Trey Dill with deep two-point shots. There's so many Knights offensive players that can come into play that can really make an impact in the second half. And again, find yourself only down by 5. A lot of work to be done here.
And Dawson, I really like what you said about Alec Johnson. I want him to get a little bit more involved in the offensive side. Maybe not exactly from the three-point line, but what he did in the opening couple of minutes, really facilitating, being that point forward that this team needs. He found Trey Dill. He found Tyler McCready on a great pass down the inside. Tyler McCready just not able to convert on the last one. It was really opening minutes of this game. I want to see more ball movement, more sharing of the ball between the Knights. I want to see Alec Johnson be that facilitator he is. Austin Wood be the facilitator. Whoever has the ball, instead of looking for your shot, look at what you can do for your teammates to get a wide open shot. And you'll find them. You'll find those open looks, and you'll be able to get points to fall.
Absolutely. And those are your keys to the game so far in this first half. And so we'll come back when it's about time to start second half action here, that CAC matchup. We'll be right back. And we're back for some CAC second half action between the Eagles of Mary Washington University and your Southern Virginia University Knights. Again, I'm Dawson Wietrich along with Chris Fly. And we talked about at halftime some of the key concepts of the game. The Knights need to play their style of basketball, need to feed the post. They also need to play great exterior defense against the great three-point shooting of the Eagles as they start with the ball in the second half. That'll be number 15, Greg Rosen, inbounding it to number 1, Deshaun Cook. You hear the communication for the Knights talking about hands-up defense. And that's a backside easy feed. It's number 33, Johnny Cronin.
Well, Dawson, we talked about hands-up defense. That was lack of heads-up defense. Just saw Cronin, nobody behind him, doubling that side with Tyler McCready. Tyler McCready having to choose one poison or the other.
And that was Johnny Cronin's first basket of the night. And now that's a foul on the Eagles. That'll be on number 33, Johnny Cronin, as Tyler McCready went up for the basket.
That's what I want to see from this half from the Knights. I want to see more of that kind of play, kind of that down and dirty, gritty play down on the post, because the Eagles can't hang down there too much longer.
McCready's first free throw. I'll be off the right side. No good. And that's one of the Knights' third free throw attempts of the night, and so far the Eagles haven't attempted any.
Well, Dawson, the Eagles haven't put themselves in a situation where they could get a foul call. All of their shots have come from beyond the arc, uncontested for the most part.
The second free throw for Tyler McCready falls, making it 34-28. Eagles now with the ball. Greg Rosen and Mark Madison breaking the full court press. Cronin on McCready. Rosen for three, and that'll fall. Rosen now has 15 points on the night.
Just gave him a little bit too much space, pulled the trigger, and made the Knights pay.
Jameer Cross having a baseline cut by Austin Wood. And that's tipped out of bounds by number 11, Drew Johnson. And he'll stay with the Knights. Austin Wood inbounding. Tyler McCready high post. Out to Wood. Kicks it out to Johnson for three. No good off back iron. Rebounded. At first, Austin Wood. But looks like the foul will go against number 1, Deshaun Cook of Mary Washington.
See, Austin Wood brought down that rebound, tore it down, and then Cook just coming out of nowhere, really blindsiding him, trying to get that ball away from Wood.
Now Alec Johnson inbounding. Try to get into Tyler McCready, who tried to recover it, but it's out of bounds. Eagles ball. They'll call the foul on number 20, Austin Wood of the Knights. And that'll be a second foul. And so now Greg Rosen will be inbounding it for the Eagles.
And Dawson, I really want to see what Austin Wood can contribute on the defensive side of the ball. We know on the offensive side of the ball, he's a three-point threat and a great facilitator for his team. On the defensive side, he needs to show those quick feet. He needs to be able to get in front of this guy and stay there.
A great putback layup by number 1, Deshaun Cook, off the missed three by Greg Rosen.
Really easy to get an open put-back layup when no one's boxing you out and there's no one in sight.
So we have a timeout here by the Knights. A 30-second timeout with the Knights possession. Looks like it was called by number 24, Trey Dill.
Interesting what Trey Dill was thinking in order to call that timeout, because Austin Wood had the wide open pass down in the low blocks to Tyler McCready, but nevertheless, you go into this timeout, you work out what you want to do in your next offensive possession. You found success with Tyler McCready. Don't go there right away. If you have him open, sure, pass it down there. Work the ball around the outside. You have Jameer Cross, who's a pure scorer. That's what he does. He gets to the basket no matter who's in front of him and lays it up. Work him a little bit. If you work him and able to find it, or he's able to find his shot, that opens up the entire floor to a Tyler McCready, to a Trey Dill, and those open shots you can get from Alec Johnson and Austin Wood.
Absolutely, and a big benefit of having a tall guy in the middle is you can put him at the high post, and I believe many teams call it a pivot offense, where you have basically a wheel formed by the outside guards, and the middle is formed by the post. Inbound, or put in the paint to him, and he can just look over everybody and see who's open on the exterior. Like you're saying, gets those exterior shooters like Sam Armstrong, Alec Johnson, and Jaron Anderson. That's now both teams will break from their timeout, and the Knights will have possession.
And Dawson, what you can't do if you're the Knights is allow the floor to look crowded. You can't have the entire offensive, really, the zone you're trying to play in, if it's completely crowded, you can't do anything. You move that ball around, force different pockets of that zone to become saturated with players, and then you can find those open spots.
Austin Wood with it after the inbound by Alec Johnson. Handed off to Johnson. Some great ball movement from the Knights. Austin Wood into Tyler McCready up with the left hand, no good. And eventually rebounded by number 33, Johnny Cronin of the Eagles.
Tyler McCready, when he went up with that one, he went up to the side. He went up with the side of his body. Needs to go straight up with that ball.
Eagles with it now. Kicked out to number 5 for the 3. No good. Rebounded by Tyler McCready. That was Mark Madison on the 3-point attempt. Jameer Cross with it now. And a nice move inside. But Jameer Cross rebounded by Tyler McCready. Put back up, but no good. Rebounded by the Eagles. That's number 5, Mark Madison. The Knights down by 11. The Knights so far have only scored 1 point in this second half. And with that, the Eagles have just scored their 9th. Bottom of your screen, you'll see Jaron Anderson checking in for the Knights. Inside to Tyler McCready. The spin. Up with the right hand, no good. Rebounded by number 11, Drew Johnson.
It's really unfortunate for Tyler McCready. He's getting these opportunities, high-quality shots. They just aren't falling for him. Nothing he can do about it. Maybe just soften his touch just ever so slightly, but really unfortunate for Tyler McCready down there in low block because he has those open shots. If you're his teammates, when you have open shots of your own and you can take that space, drive it in, and force people to come to you, you need to start doing that because the shots down low aren't falling, which is really unfortunate because it's a way that the Knights can take control of this game.
It absolutely is, as that was rebounded by number 24, Trey Dill, but the foul will be on number 15, Greg Rosen of the Eagles, and that'll be his first of the game. So with that, Jaron Anderson will be substituted in for Tyler McCready. Knights with possession. The Knights looking for some ball movement here. In the paint to Trey Dill. They're going to call the offensive foul here. Looked like it was on Trey Dill.
What's really dangerous for the Knights right now is that the Eagles are learning that those shots down on the low blocks aren't falling for the Knights right now. So as soon as they have an opportunity to pass it down there, whether it be a Trey Dill or Tyler McCready, they're leaving one guy, and that's Cronin, because they know majority of the time the Knights aren't be able to get it to fall, especially in this tough stretch.
And that was a good layup by number 13, Riley Welch. In fact, it doesn't look like it was a foul on Trey Dill. It looks like it was just a carry by Trey Dill on last possession, and a block by Drew Johnson on a shot attempt for Trey Dill. A three-point attempt by Rosen, no good. Rebounded by Alec Johnson. A short jumper for Johnson, no good. Rebounded by Johnny Cronin. Riley Welch to Drew Johnson. Kicks it out. Welch neglects to shoot the three. Welch on the three-point line. Takes a deep two. No good. And hit out of bounds by Trey Dill.
Trey Dill trying to curve that around to get it to Jameer Cross. Just goes out of bounds, unfortunately for him.
Now Neil Davis will check in for Alec Johnson. And we'll have an immediate timeout here, but it looks like number 3, Quincy Jones, and number 4, Sam Armstrong will check in for the Knights as well.
Well, right now, Dawson, if you're Coach Greg Winslow, you're just looking for an answer in any of the guys on your bench. The lineup you started that second half with, for some reason or other, they can't get the shots to fall down low in the paint, and they haven't been able to keep it together on the defensive side. You played great defense in that first half. You didn't allow a lot of 3 points. The Eagles and Mary Washington have come out in this second half. They're not taking as many three-pointers this half. They're feeding down low in the paint. They're doing a lot of dribble drive and then cuts. And they found a way behind the big men of the Knights to get open opportunities at the basket.
You're right. The Eagles are definitely shooting less three-point shots, as even you saw Riley Welch, who's perfect on the night for three-pointers, passed up a beautiful opportunity for a three-point shot. And right now in the second half, the Knights are being outscored 11-1. And so the Knights need to figure out some things quick on the offensive side, or else allow the Eagles to possibly run away with it in the second half.
And it's a really dangerous situation if you're the Knights, because the Eagles have not shot as many three-point attempts this half. They shot 17 in that first half, and they've only shot, I believe, five in coming in the second half. And they found success outside the three-point line. So it's such a dangerous situation when you know this team can pull ahead from shooting the three, but they've also done it from the two. You need to find an answer because you can't be a servant of two masters. You can't be dedicated to defending the two, then give it the three. They're going to burn you on that. Can't be dedicated to defending the three. They've shown they can burn you on the two. Need to space the floor on defense. Every guy, he really just needs to stay in front. All about spacing with his defense.
And it looks like Sam Armstrong won't check in, but it's just number 3, Quincy Jones, as the Eagles have possession. Wilson for 3. No good. Rebounded eventually by number 24, Serge Ekpuk. Another foul on number 10, Neil Davis of the Knights.
Dawson, we all know what Neil Davis can bring to the Knights on the defensive side of the ball. Again, he's always great defensive player. Stays in front of his man, like we were just saying. Plays that great spacing on defense. I really enjoy what he does on the offensive side because if you think of players in basketball, everyone has a role. Everyone has a thing that their shtick, you might say, on offense. No one knows what Neil Davis is besides get the job done. Neil Davis is the guy you put in to get the job done.
He absolutely is. As now the Eagles have possession again. Up by 15. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. And it looks like it'll be a shooting foul on number 10, Neil Davis. As the shot clock was winding down, both Trey Dillon and Neil Davis were defending number 0, Corey Stewart.
That call really could have gone either way. It looked like Neil Davis got a hand on the ball. Just a little too much arm over the shoulder for the ref's liking.
So Stewart will attempt 2 free throws. First one off the front of the rim, no good. Second one on the way. No good, rebounded by Trey Dill. Jameer Cross with it. We haven't heard a whole lot of Jameer Cross as far as scoring so far this game.
Dawson, if being honest, we haven't heard anything from basically any Knights in the second half in terms of scoring. Eagles right now outscoring the Knights 11-1 in the second half.
As Trey Dill went up for the 2-point shot and will get fouled and sent to the free throw line.
Team's fourth sends Trey Dill to the line, shooting 2.
So Trey Dill will attempt 2 free throws. First one up. Off the back of the rim, no good. Second one up, no good. Rebounded by Trey Dill. He got to Jameer Cross, who tried to get out to Neil Davis, but it'll end up being a turnover. Possession to the Eagles.
We saw some great hustle by the Knights, but just unfortunate that hustle got into the other players on the court's minds and really frazzled them. It caused them to speed up. When you see one of the guys on your team speeding up to get the job done, it gets your head in that mode of, I have to get it done now. When you do that, you need to be able to keep your composure. You got to keep your composure and then play the game the way you know how to play it.
Eagles with possession. Johnson to Cook. Lays it up, no good. Rebounded by Jameer Cross. And tipped out of bounds by Corey Stewart. But it'll stay with the Knights. So Neil Davis will inbound it to Quincy Jones. The cut pass to Jameer Cross outside. The Trey Dill for 3, no good. And that'll be out of bounds on the Eagles. It'll stay with the Knights.
Again, a great offensive possession by the Knights. Saw a great pass in by Quincy Jones down in to, I believe it was Jameer Cross. Jameer Cross didn't get frazzled. Knew he had Cronin on his back. elected to pass out, like the three-pointer by Trey Dill. Maybe that next possession you do the same thing. Work the ball back around. You'll find a guy on the opposite side of the court open.
And as Trey Dill went up for the shot, he got fouled, and we'll go to the free throw for 2 more free throws. I'll go to the line for 2 more free throws. It's one of those nights, ladies and gentlemen. Words get mixed up, but either way, Trey Dill will get himself to the free throw line yet again. First one's up and good. And that puts a smile on his face as he went 0 for 2 the previous trip.
Did 0 for 2 the first trip, now 1 for 3, now looking to bring it back even. And with that, Trey Dill takes over leading scorer on this Knights team. And now he has 7, took over Sam Armstrong, who had 6.
Makes the second free throw, and now Alec Johnson will check in for Jaron Anderson for the Knights. Janowski with it for the Eagles. Drew Johnson to Stewart, to Rashawn Cook. And Neil Davis cannot believe that foul call, as it is indeed on Neil Davis. And he was defending number 0, Kiari Stewart.
And Dawson, again, you could advocate for a no foul call there, but a steal for Neil Davis. But you got to give it up for Neil Davis because the heart he showed. Caught a little bit off balance there by Cook, but able to get back. I believe that was Stewart instead. Caught off guard by Stewart. Able to get back and get his hands on the ball. I don't agree with that call at all.
And that'll be a foul on the shot attempt by Jameer Cross, as was number 2, Rashawn Cook, was attempting the deep two-pointer. And so we'll have 2 free throws from Rashawn Cook.
And Rashawn Cook hasn't scored yet in this game, so his first opportunity at some points now.
First free throw is no good. And as we see number 0, Kiari Stewart checked out. Second free throw up, and that will toilet bowl its way into the rim. And so the Eagles take a 44-30 lead. Jameer Cross with it on the far side. Trey Dill the deep 2, and that'll fall. And that'll give him 10 points on the night.
Like that shot by Trey Dill. The shots in the paint aren't falling for you. Threes aren't falling for you. Only the place left is that mid-range game.
It's now Deshaun Cook with it now. Rowan the deep 3, no good. Bounces off of Trey Dill and Quincy Jones. And ends up being a missed shot by number 3, Mike Janowski. Alec Johnson with it. Cross to Johnson, to Jones. Quincy Jones, top of the key. Six seconds left on the shot clock. Jameer Cross goes up with it, and it's in. And that'll be his second basket of the night.
Dawson, I wish the folks at home had the view that we had of the game. Every time Jameer Cross goes up with the ball, his facial expression doesn't change. He's so calm on the basketball court. It just comes so naturally to him.
As there's a foul call on the floor on number 3, Quincy Jones. That'll be his first personal foul, but we'll have a timeout here as Quincy Jones pleads his case with the ref.
And unfortunately for Quincy Jones, I don't think he's going to get very far in that conversation. Can't go back in time and change the call.
As we have just over 11 minutes left in this second half, the Knights find themselves down by 10. Knights are slowly climbing their way back into it. Now being outscored in the second half, 12-7, as it was just a little bit earlier, just 11-1. So Knights whittling away at it little by little.
And Dawson, they've started to rebound better in the last couple of minutes. They're out rebounding the Eagles 30-26. we saw in the opening couple of minutes of the second half, they weren't rebounding at all. The Eagles had so many opportunities at second chance points, whether it be tip-ins or getting the offensive rebound and controlling it and putting it back up. Last couple of minutes, compared to the first couple of minutes of the second half, Knights out rebounding the Eagles, doing a great job on the boards and playing a little bit stouter defense. I love the addition of Neil Davis. I really think the spark plug he adds to this team adds so much. And for it to go unnoticed day in and day out, I think it's a little bit of a travesty. He adds so much on the offensive defensive side. Keep him in. The guys are finding shots. For some reason or another, the Eagles are focusing in on Davis, putting 2 or 3 guys on him, even when he doesn't have the ball.
Absolutely, and it's so interesting, Chris, to think about how the first half was and what kind of game that was. It feels like a totally different game. It feels like we totally just switched the channel from a 3-point shootout to a slugfest in the paint and outside 2-point shooting. It's astonishing how much it's changed in just about 20 minutes.
It's astonishing how much it's changed, and unfortunate for the Knights in the opening couple of minutes in the second half, those shots down in the paint weren't falling. That's the game the Knights need to play. Just those shots they had to open, had them open down in the paint. Just weren't able to convert. If the Eagles want to continue playing like this, by all means, the shots will eventually start falling for the Knights. Knights just can't allow it to get into a 3-point contest again.
Drew Johnson attempts the 3-pointer, and that's rebounded by Jameer Cross. Cross some fancy dribble work here. And it's eventually recovered by Trey Dill somehow. After that mess of a situation for the Knights. And finally taken away by number 3, Mike Janowski. Nearly taken away by Trey Dill, but recovered by the Eagles and number 1, Deshaun Cook. Rosen with it now. Inside to Johnny Cronin, and that's good. The pick and roll works for them that time. Knights down by 12. Neil Davis to the top of the key, kicks it out to Jameer Cross. Baseline. Kicks it out to Quincy Jones for 3. No good. That's rebounded by Jameer Cross. Kicks it out to Trey Dill. So that resets the shot clock. Alec Johnson to Quincy Jones. In the paint, Alec Johnson. He kicks it out to Jameer Cross. And that'll be a charging foul called on Jameer Cross.
Really amazing that there wasn't a foul call before the charge call against Jameer Cross. Just saw so many hands and shoulders and legs and feet and any kind of body part you want to throw at Jameer Cross at that play, it was there. And you could advocate that could have been a block call because Cronin didn't get there. He got there just in time, but he didn't have any time to waste. If he was there just a half second earlier, it would have been an obvious charge call. Half second later, and it would have been a block.
Number 5, Mark Madison with it now. Cook to Rosen. Back to the top of the key for the Eagles. Welch guarded tightly by Quincy Jones, but then he gets the pick and roll for the layup. Make it 48-34. Quincy Jones, top of the key to Jameer Cross. Alec Johnson to Quincy Jones for 3. No good, rebounded by Greg Rosen, but taken away by Trey Dill, who gets into the paint to Neil Davis, who's swatted, but it'll go out of bounds on the Eagles.
And Dawson, that last miss from the 3-point line brings the Knights totals right now to 3 of 19, 15.8%. The 3-point is not falling for you. I don't believe they shot or made a single 3-pointer since the first half.
I don't believe so either, as we see, speaking of 3-point shots, Sam Armstrong checking into the game for the Knights.
I think Coach Winslow knows as well as anybody. Yes, the three-point shot's not falling. That doesn't mean that you accept the fact that the Eagles aren't defending it. You put in Sam Armstrong, even if he's not having the hottest of nights, he still has the ability to drain the three on you. So the Eagles are going to acknowledge that and probably go out and guard him.
Trey Dill misses the deep two. Rebounded by Riley Welch. Under 8 minutes to play in the second half. Knights down by 14. Cook with the baseline, the easy layup. And now Deshaun Cook has 4 points in the night. Corner to Sam Armstrong. Anderson to Dill. Tries to feed it to Jameer Cross on the baseline. But that'll end up being a turnover. And so an immediate timeout here as the Knights find themselves down by 16, 50-34.
And Dawson, I think, if I saw correctly, the ball's going to restart with the Knights. I believe it went off the hand or foot of Johnny Cronin, and it'll stay with the Knights. But there's a great opportunity for Coach Winslow to talk to his guys. Scoring percent, Knights haven't scored in a number of minutes, probably I think around 4. So if you take basically a quarter, 10 minutes, and you gauge it to the scores right now, take away 2 points from Mary Washington, they're on track to score the exact same amount of points they did in the first half. Knights are on track to score half of what they did in the first half. Mary Washington is outscoring the Knights 18-7 in this second half. Knights just not able to find their offensive rhythm for some reason.
Yeah, it's been very tough for them early on. We mentioned the difficulties in the low post shooting for Tyler McCready as well as Trey Dill. And surprisingly, we see some great post defense from the Eagles. They've been really tough down there. Some situations maybe could be called for a foul, but again, not letting the Knights get away with things easy in the paint.
And Dawson, the reason being for that is that the Knights aren't able to shoot it from deep. They have no incentive to go and guard the Knights beyond the three-point line. So as soon as one Knight gets it down in the paint, there's 2 Eagles on there automatically, maybe even 3. So when you have no incentive to guard from the three-point line, you just cram the paint. What the Knights need to do, the three-point's not falling for them, but we've seen some success from the mid-range game. Run that pick and roll, the old 90s style of basketball, pick and roll. If the roll's not open, then you have the open mid-range game, and that's where you can find points. Most fundamental shot in basketball right next to the layup is the mid-range shot.
Now inbounded by Alec Johnson to Jameer Cross. Sam Armstrong for 3. No good. Rebounded by Deshaun Cook. In the paint to Johnny Cronin. Blocked by Trey Dill. And they'll call the foul on the Knights. Looks like it'll be number 21, Jaron Anderson.
And Coach Winslow at the top of your screen arguing of how long Cronin would be allowed to just camp out in the paint there. He was almost there for 6 or 7 seconds on that possession alone.
Johnny Cronin will go to the free throw line. First free throw, no good. Johnny Cronin has six points on the night. And this is his first trip to the free throw line. Second free throw is up, no good. Rebounded by Mark Madison. Under 7 minutes left to play in the second half. Layup up and no good. Rebounded by Cronin. Up, no good. Rebounded by both Trey Dill and Jaron Anderson.
Dawson, you just can't allow Cronin to just stay there uncontested. You have to box him out. You have to put a body into him at some point when a shot goes up, because he's sitting there by himself. Jaron Anderson and a number of Knights are supposed to be guarding him. As soon as the shot goes up, they go for the rebound as opposed to boxing out and getting an easier opportunity at the rebound.
And so the Knights will retain possession as it was an on-the-floor foul. Alec Johnson will inbound. There's some conversation happening between the refs. And now play can resume. Jameer Cross for 3. No good. Rebounded by the Eagles, eventually by number 5, Mark Madison.
See, Alec Johnson is trying to save him for going out of bounds off a Trey Dill, bounce it off one of the Eagles. Unlucky bounce for Alec Johnson, lands back in the hands of the Eagles.
Screen from Rosen. Dribble drive. And it'll be tipped out of bounds by Trey Dill. And it'll stay with the Eagles.
That's great work by Trey Dill. Knew he didn't have to go up and try to contest that. Knew that eventually, I believe that was Rosen trying to drive it in. He's going to bring it back down to go back up. And when he has the ball back down, just poke it through.
Mark Madison for 3. No good. And that's rebounded by number 1, Deshaun Cook, and the easy 2-pointer for him.
That was really unfortunate because Jaron Anderson just lost his balance. Looked like he was going to go get it, just lost his balance, stumbled backwards, and they gave the Eagles a wide open opportunity.
Jameer Cross, open opportunity in the paint, but was defended by Johnny Cronin, so it'll be no good. Back to the Eagles. And the reverse layup will be good by number 13, Riley Welch. So I'll give Riley Welch 15 points on the night. Him and Greg Rosen are tied on the team for leading in scoring.
And Dawson, it's amazing the way they've done it. We talked about Welch and his amazing three-point percentage. He's only shot 3. That's 9 points. He has 15. Those other 6 have to come from somewhere. It's his first trip to the line. He's 6 of 8 from the field. Astonishing shooting percentage. 3 for 3 from the three-point line. And now 1 of 1 from the foul line. So close to a perfect night as you can get for Eagles number 13, Riley Welch.
Jameer Cross with it. Jaron Anderson. To Alec Johnson. To Dill. Open corner 3 for Jaron Anderson. Will fall.
Great work by Jaron Anderson to put himself really on the better side of history for that last couple of possessions. Stumbled on the last one to give the Eagles an easy opportunity, but then coming back with a great possession of his own with that three-pointer.
And the easy layup by number 1, Deshaun Cook, brings the score to 57-37. A nice left-handed finish by Alec Johnson with a dribble into the left hand.
I mentioned at halftime I wanted to see more distributing from Alec Johnson. I changed my mind, Dawson. I want to see more ball movement to Alec Johnson, driving the paint and getting his shot.
Rosen dribbling in the right side on Trey Dill. Goes up with a shot, and a foul will be called. Looks like it'll be on Trey Dill.
And Dawson, it is on Trey Dill. It's almost a pretty late call there by the referees as number 15, Greg Rosen, went up for the shot.
I think it might have been the reaction from Rosen after the foul, which caused the refs to see what was going on.
And Dawson, luckily for the Knights so far in this game, while the Eagles of the University of Mary Washington are touted as a very high shooting team, high three-point shooting percentage, field goal percentage, they haven't shot very well from the foul line at all. They're 2 of 8, 25% from the charity stripe.
So now the Knights will have possession yet again. Jameer Cross with it. Alec Johnson. Gets it out to Trey Dill, but it's taken away by number 2, Rashawn Cook. Up for the layup and good. Make it 60-39. A three-point attempt. No good by Alec Johnson. Rebounded by number 13, Riley Welch.
Say to go to bounds off the Knights. I'm not exactly sure how that happened because it looked like Riley Welch had complete possession of the ball, but somehow goes off of Jaron Anderson, but the ball never went out of bounds. So it must have been Jaron Anderson that had a foot out of bounds, and it would have been a jump ball call.
And we'll see number 12, Brandon Caputo, check in for the Knights. Change things up a little bit. So now on the court, you'll have Jameer Cross, Trey Dill, Brandon Caputo, Jaron Anderson, and Sam Armstrong. A pretty small lineup, but a lineup that is capable of outside shooting and great ball distribution.
And Dawson, that lineup is meant to get to the basket. You have Jameer Cross and Alec Johnson. They've shown the ability to weave their way through a defense and put it up. That's what Coach Winslow's thinking at this point now. You need to find ways to get to the basket. They're going to foul you. That's a given. There's a foul every time a play is called in basketball. It's just whether or not the refs call it. So if you take as many chances as you can to get to the basket, whether put it in the cup or get your way to the free throw line, that's easy or opportunities at points on the board, and that's what you need if you're the Knights.
Absolutely. You need to get all the easy points you can get, especially with just under 4 minutes left to play. Finding yourself down by 21. You need a huge scoring surge here if you're the Knights. You need to start hitting all your shots. You need to start getting some great offensive possessions and severely limited turnovers. I almost want to say no turnovers at this point.
Well, every coach in the world wants his team to do no turnover. Turnovers are inevitable. It's part of the game. That's why defense is played. The whole point of defense is to force a turnover and get an easy opportunity at the basket. But if you're the Knights and if you're on offense, spread the floor and find seams to the basket. If you're on defense, you need basically put a stranglehold on this Eagles offense.
Now number 13, Riley Welch almost turned it over for the Eagles as it was passed behind him, but instead retained possession. In the paint, Johnny Cronin, three-point attempt by Drew Johnson will fall. Jameer Cross with it. Armstrong to Caputo. Corner to Jaron Anderson for three. No good. Rebounded by Sam Armstrong. Anderson to Caputo. To Cross. Anderson for three. And that rolls out. Rebounded by number 1, Deshaun Cook. Just under 3 minutes left to play. Riley Welch, the three-pointer. No good. Ruins his perfect streak of three-point shooting.
Ruins his perfect streak, but he's still shooting 75% from the three-point line.
And a foul will be called. Looks like on Eagles, number 2, Rashawn Cook. And so Jaron Anderson will go to the free throw line. That's the second for Cook. And the 7th team foul for the Eagles. As we see number 1, Silas Slaughter, the freshman guard from Redondo Beach, California, check in for the Knights. First free throw is up and good for Jaron Anderson. We'll also have number 5, Walker Lima, checking in. Silas Slaughter takes place with number 23, Jameer Cross, and Bennett Camlin will come in for number 24, Trey Dill. Second free throw up. And good. And Walker Lima will check in for Jaron Anderson.
Haven't seen Walker Lima too much throughout the season. Of course, the freshman standing at 6'2" from Somerville, South Carolina. Want to see what he adds to this team on the offensive defensive sides. Don't get to see him much. It'd be interesting pairing him up with Silas Slaughter, see what this freshman pair can do together.
We've seen a little bit of Silas Slaughter in a couple of games here at the Knight Arena. Has had some good minutes. Is a very quick and athletic competitor for this Knights team. Baseline drive by number 2, Rashawn Cook, and he'll hit the floor and go to the free throw line. And Bennett Canlin, after quickly coming in, will get his first foul.
And nothing against Bennett Canlin on that play, but you already had the position on him. You knew he was driving in, about face, square him up, and try to take the charge at that point. Because you know the refs are going to call it against you every single time.
Free throw up by Rashawn Cook is good.
Into the game for the Knights, number 15, Justin McGowan.
And now on number 15 for the Knights, Justin McGowan checking in for Sam Armstrong.
And Dawson, if I'm not mistaken, Justin McGowan making his home debut as a Southern Virginia Knight.
He indeed is. He was a new addition to his team at the beginning of the spring semester here at Southern Virginia University. We'll also see some other players checking in for the Eagles. We got number 14, number 44, Tavion Britt, and number 12, Sakai Walker.
And Dawson, when you have a player come in, his parents always love to hear the full shtick, where he's from, and his height and everything. So we'll do that right now. At number 15, Josh McGowan, freshman, a forward sophomore, 6'4" from Belton, Texas. So now he has the full NCAA Division III college experience here at Southern Virginia University.
And also for those who checked in for the Eagles, we got Sakai Walker, the junior guard from Yokosuka, Japan. Went to James Madison High School. And also number 44, Tavion Britt, the sophomore forward from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Went to St. John Paul the Great High School. And the Eagles with possession. And also another substitution in for the Eagles, number 50, Tyler Withers, the senior from Manassas, Virginia. And it looks like it'll be a turnover in the Eagles.
I love that last play by Silas Slaughter. He has the height disadvantage. He's 5'10", going up against much taller people, trying to get that rebound, but great heart shown by Slaughter there.
The corner to Brandon Caputo. Inside to McGowan, a deep two-point attempt. No good. Rebounded by number 12, Sakai Walker. And it's a great opportunity for these young players here to get the NCAA Division III experience, especially this late in the season. And looks like that'll be a foul called on the Knights. On number 30, Bennett Canlin yet again. And so that'll send number 23, Ryan Williams, the sophomore guard, to the line.
Well, Bennett Canlin's been in maybe, a minute and 25 seconds, already picked up 2 fouls. Deserving on the first, I don't think he deserved this last one. Is he able to get a hand on it before Williams even went up? Again, if it's not up to me, it's up to the guys wearing the striped shirts.
Second free throw coming up for Ryan Williams. And that one will fall. Knights ball. Just a minute left to play. The pass is a little bit too high for Walker Lima on the outside. The ball will go back to the Eagles. Just under 50 seconds left.
Walker Lima was open probably 5 seconds before he even got the pass to him. He was open there at the three-point line. Give the guy an opportunity to rip it from deep.
The three-point attempt, no good by number 50, Tyler Withers. And rebounded by the Eagles yet again. And so they hold on to it. As it's barely half a second between the shot and game clock. Number 23, Ryan Williams with the ball. And so it looks like they just waste out the rest of the clock, along with the shot clock. Maybe have a half a second left after the shot clock goes off. Indeed, we'll have a second.
That's the end of the game. University of Mary Washington.
And now the game will finally come to an end. The final score being 66-41 in favor of the Eagles. And what was a tough fought first half, and I'm not faring so well for the Knights. As second half, outscored 34-14. The Knights having some opportunities to send some young players in with the likes of Silas Slaughter, Walker Lima, Quincy Jones, along with the Eagles doing the same thing with their squad. And so the University of Mary Washington will continue to build up in their CAC rankings and continue to make their case coming into the CAC tournament time here at the end of this month. And again, we thank you so much for joining us on the Night Sports Network. It's been a fun night, a fun doubleheader, both men's and women's Knights basketball playing here at the barn. And I'm Dawson Winter along with Chris Fly. Again, thank you so much for joining us. So long and go Knights.